Namaste, yogis. Today we're just going to be doing a quick tutorial on one of the bigger back bends, Urdhva Dhanurasana, or full wheel pose. So we're going to get started today with using 2 blocks and a strap. So make sure that you have that handy. And go ahead and make sure that your strap is looped around shoulder width distance. And how I like to measure is just kind of from one deltoid to the middle of one deltoid, and you should be good to go with that. And we'll take that strap off to the side. And depending on how you're feeling, the depth of the back bend that you're looking for will determine the height of the blocks that you're going to place behind you. So we're going to start with one block kind of at its medium height. And this block will go just between the space of the shoulder blades for a thoracic opening. The second block will be placed underneath the back of the head for less of kind of an extreme sensation in the cervical spine. So we're going to get lying down on our backs, first with the block supporting the base of the shoulder blades, second block underneath the back of the skull. And if you feel warmed and ready, you can just remove that block behind your head. And if you feel any tenderness in the low back, just take a moment to place the feet down and just let the knees knock in. Otherwise, if you feel ready to go, just extend the legs straight out in front of you. Take a moment to press your heels down, scrub your tailbone forward until you feel long in the low back. Arms will rest kind of at a cactus shape as you start to just tune into the breath. Just beginning here to just acclimate your body to your practice. Just feeling a soft introduction of the support beneath you, just as a little hello. Introducing the body to this back bend shape. Take an even fuller next breath up into the top chest. And gently sigh the breath out the mouth as you exhale. And just feel the body draping over your support. We'll take that just a couple more rounds. Inhale through the nose. Feel the collarbones spreading. And then see if you can keep the chest open. Exhale, soften the breath out. Good, and one more breath just like this. Inhale. And perhaps keeping the lips sealed to touch, connecting into Ujjayi Pranayama as you exhale. And just feeling that attention as it starts to sift down into the body. And as you sustain your attention there, see if you can just observe one area that you may be holding on to tension. For me, sometimes it tends to be my shoulders, even the tongue and the mouth. Let the tongue be soft, let the lower jaw be wide. And then we'll keep this kind of softening with each exhale as we move. So when you're ready, just start to bend the knees again, place the feet down, and just simply roll over to the right, removing the blocks off to the side, and then coming to lie down. So this time we'll go ahead and keep the knees bent, just straight out in front of the sitting bones with the heels directly underneath the kneecaps. And take a moment to just press the tops of the shoulders down into the floor. You can bend the elbows and envision you're holding onto an invisible beach ball with your palms. And then go ahead and press down through the backs of the shoulders, press down through the backs of the arms. Inhale, just lift the pelvis, lift the spine. And just starting in our first back bend in bridge pose, take a moment to adjust from the foundation of your feet. Feel a sensation of firming the outer ankles and outer hips into the midline, so that you can let the inner thighs and inner groin soften down to the floor. And then when you loosen up kind of that inside of the legs, just go ahead and send your tailbone forward, getting long in the low back again, just like what we were doing on the blocks. And then as you inhale, recommit to moving the breath up into the top chest. Try to loop the shoulders a little bit deeper underneath you, one at a time. And then as you exhale, feel the bottom ribs just softening down into the navel center. Just one more steady breath here. And then slowly begin to lower vertebrae by vertebrae, coming on down. Rest one hand on belly, one hand on heart, and just sort of notice how that feels today. Good. And then from here, taking our second back bend, we'll take it up a little bit higher. And so coming up into bridge pose again, same preparation from the beginning. Placing the feet right underneath the knees, bend the elbows, press through the tops of the shoulders and back of the arms. And then on your inhale, slowly press up, lifting pelvis, lifting spine. And then from here, clasp your hands underneath you. Try to roll one shoulder deeper underneath you. And really feel here, you guys, that the bottom tips of the shoulder blades are lifting straight up into the top chest. And really use kind of this action of pressing the tops of the shoulders down to the floor, so that you can get a soft lift at that knobbly little bone, the C7 bone, right at the base of the spine, right where the cervical spine meets the thoracic spine. And see if you can get that little lift there, taking just one more steady breath. And then keep the arms underneath you as you exhale. Just slowly lower your torso down to rest onto the arms. Feeling kind of that introduction in the rest of the spine. Just notice if there's any other areas in the spine that aren't quite awake yet, and see if you can breathe into those areas on your next couple breaths. Good. And a common problem that we sometimes come up against when we're in this deep back bend shape is that the elbows like to kind of splay out to the side. So to prevent that, we're going to go ahead and release the hands away from underneath you. Just grab a hold of your strap. And then take this circle part of the strap through the arms, right on top of the elbows, like right where your triceps are. And then feel here for a moment that brace of support, and just glide your shoulders away from your ears. Let's go ahead and flip the palms now to either side of the ears. And just feeling the inner palms, meaning the thumb and index side of the hand press down into the floor. Try to break the strap apart and really feel a sense of widening into the collarbones. Good, and same beginning like we did in bridge pose, but this time we're gonna come up onto the crown of the head. So inhale, pause on the crown of the head, and then suck the shoulders onto the back so that the collarbones stay wide and the chest stays open. And then feel the base underneath the soles of the feet. Scrubbing the tailbone forward, take another breath here, and then press down through the inner palms, inhale. Squeeze the forearms into one another to straighten the arms. And now as you come into the Urdhva Dhanurasana shape, see if you can just gaze onto the cheeks. Notice if that softens the pose. This is a pretty big pose, so just take a moment here to notice again as you inhale, the attention drawn inside of the body. And then see if you can soften just one area as you exhale. See if you can notice the preparation that we took before, feeling those invisible blocks lifting the heart up to the sky. One more breath. And then slowly support yourself down onto the tops of the shoulders as you exhale. Take your time to slowly release. Take your strap off to the side. And then from here, let's go ahead and widen the feet so they're mat width distance. And then knock the feet over to the left. If you'd like a little bit more, you can take the bottom left foot on top of the right knee and just wiggle the feet over to the right. A couple breaths in this simple twist. Stretching the arms out to a cactus shape. Inhale. And gently spin the bottom ribs down to the floor as you exhale. And then release, come back to center. Inhale, both feet flat to the floor. And exhale, let both knees drift off to the second side. Stacking bottom ankle on top of the knee and gently walking the feet over to the left. A couple breaths in this twist. Inhale, try to nudge your tailbone just a little bit further forward. Lengthen the skull to the back of the room. And then gently soften the bottom left ribs down to the mat as you exhale. One more breath. And then come back to center, inhale. And just for a moment, let's take happy baby pose. Grab a hold of the inside or outside edges of the feet. Find length in the lumbar spine again, just by encouraging the tailbone to the floor. And feel here as though you're pulling the feet into you and at the same time pressing the feet into your palms. One more steady breath. And then as you exhale, let's go ahead, pull the knees into the chest. And then rebalancing the spine, let's go ahead, stretch the feet straight up to the sky. And if you're feeling a little tender in the low back or maybe feeling a little fatigued in the belly, just grab a hold of your hands underneath your booty. Otherwise, if you feel strong and maybe you want a little bit more, take a block and reach it overhead. Hands are hovering. As you inhale, let's go ahead and lower the left foot just about halfway down. And then as you exhale, commit to hugging the outer thighs in and snaking the tailbone forward. And then think about releasing from the inner left thigh. Lower that left leg till it hovers just a couple inches above the floor. Inhale. And then exhale, come just halfway up. Pausing as you inhale. And then exhale all the way up. Second side, inhale, lower the right foot just about halfway down. Recommit to hugging the outer thighs in, really engaging the outer hip bones into one another and pulling the navel down into the low back. And then inhale, stretch the right foot till it hovers above the floor, just a couple breaths. And then as you exhale, lift the right foot halfway up. Find length through the legs, press through the heels, inhale. And then exhale, lift both feet up to the sky. Now both feet together, just for a couple breaths. Inhale, lower the feet just halfway down. Recommit to rolling the inner thighs down. Stretch your tailbone forward, get long in the low belly. And then lower the feet till they hover just to a point to where you can feel that soft tremble of the body waking up. Maintain that smoothness of the breath. And then inhale back up to the sky. And exhale, release, knees to chest. Well done. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then when you're ready, rock and roll your way up to seated. Thank you so much for your practice. And may you enjoy this lively energy boost that the Urdhva Dhanurasana provides. Namaste.